I said to me, I said to me, I said to me, me. You know the feeling when you are working on something that you think it will change the world, and then when you release it, not only that it doesn't change the world, but it also fails? Well, I had that feeling recently when I was making my own Discord bot. Learn out how and why it failed in this video. This episode is focused on my journey with Discord. What made me think to start making a Discord bot, how I proceeded making one, and lastly, how did it fail? Question of the day: have you implemented a Discord bot? Leave a comment down below and tell me your story. I'm curious to find it out. Recently, I've seen a lot of YouTuber game developers creating their own game bots for Twitch, Discord, and other social platforms. So I thought for myself, why shouldn't I make one as well? Everything starts with an idea, and I had two ideas. The first one was having a bot that takes commands out of Discord, puts them into Unity, renders everything, and then sends them back via a stream. So that means that I need basically a game in Unity that can actually process all the commands. But this will require my main PC to be online all the time. So I wanted to create something that I can actually have 24/7. So in order to make this happen, I said to me, why should I use my idle Raspberry Pi and put a button on it? But the problem was, of course, that it's not possible to render Unity projects and also stream them at the same time on Raspberry Pi. So I opted for the second option, which was to create a text-based bot and then put it on the Raspberry Pi 24/7. So this is how I set myself up to create the Discord bot. My idea was to take cues from an old hacking game that I played called Uplink. By the way, you should check it out because it's really nice. But make it text, make a chat channel to emulate like a terminal. So you can input commands and then like hack other people, what a usual hacker would do. Luckily, Discord offers its software development kit in a lot of platforms, and initially I've opted for Python. You'll find out why I said initially in a second. It was familiar to me, it was really easy to set up, so I said, yeah, okay, let's go for Python. So I implemented a lot of the commands in Python, and then after some time I realized that the complexity was getting out of hand. And Python, yeah, it's a good language, but it's mainly a scripting language, so it's a struggle, and it has some pain points which I don't really like. The main two ones are the fact that it kind of gets messy with multiple modules, and the second one, when you have variables you don't know the types, and it kind of gets really frustrating at some point. Of course, I know there are workarounds, but not solving the initial problem. So I chose Java instead because it's much more rigid language and it allows me to do my work much better if a system becomes complex. Now it's time to write everything in Java again. You want to start working on your own Discord bot and you are thinking, what should I choose, Python or Java or any other language? I'll be making a video comparing Python and Java, what are the pros and cons in depth. So if you're interested into that, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to be notified when the video drops out. And how the bot works. Yeah, at least technically speaking, the commands work as I planned, it does exactly what I planned, and now it's time for its deployment. Okay, all good. So now I just need to press this button, deploy it on the server, and see how everything fits together exactly how I imagined it. The actual deployment came, and the bot kind of worked. Kind of I say because, of course, your usual concurrency issue or null reference exception issue, but I said, okay, no problem, I'll just restart the bot if something happens, I'll just let people play with it. But I haven't accounted for one problem, if the bot was fun to play with or not, and it was not. The issue with it being not fun, I've narrowed it down to a couple of different categories. Of course, there might be more, but this is what I could find with the feedback that I gathered from other users. So one of the major features with the bot is user friendliness, or lack of it, I would say. It has a lot of commands, so the list is quite big. They need to be remembered and executed in a specific order. And lastly, they're also time bound, so if you mess the order or if you don't put it in a particular time frame, then everything just blows and you have to start from the beginning. So that's a major issue because it has a really hard learning curve. Another point here is the bot is unforgiving. What I mean by this is the main commands, which are the hacking commands, are randomly bound. This means they have a chance of succeeding or not. And if you try like a command 10 times and it fails, of course it will deter you from wanting to play with this bot, and you'll move to a bot that it just delivers in 1 second or 2. So this was another major pain point. A possible solution here would be to implement something like pseudo-random, which actually after each trial and failure, it increases your chances of success, and at some point the success will be inevitable. And lastly, the bot was too hard to interact with. And what I mean by this is the fact that you have to type in everything. And of course it deals with IPs, which are sequences of numbers that you have to put in correctly. And of course, if you mistype one digit out of that number, then it doesn't work anymore. This was a major problem, especially for mobile phone users, because it's kind of hard to copy paste these sequences and you have to manually type it and you'll get a lot of mistakes. It's not really that usable in this state. So this is my bot story. In perspective, I can tell you that it was bound to fail. While I was down there in the trenches, I could not figure it out because I was focused on just delivering the core mechanics, and it's kind of hard to see what's fun and what's not fun. I think it's better to gather feedback from people as soon as possible, as soon as I would have had something playable, and then figure out that, hey, this doesn't work, I need to change it, I need to remake it, that it's fun. So this is a basic thing that people do. This is why a lot of games fail, because people focus on implementing stuff and waiting and then releasing it and then figure out, why did people did not enjoy my game? Well, because of this or any other reasons, but I think this is clearly one of them. I'm Adrian and I'll see you in the next one.